Til alle dere som snakker norsk, eller svenska, eller en form for nordisk, så velkommen til webinar. Selve webinaret innholdet i webinaret vil være på engelsk. Våre foredragsholdere snakker på engelsk. Men jeg gir litt info i starten på norsk. And if any of the information in Norwegian needs to be translated, let me know in the chat and I will write it in text and repeat it there. Så, velkommen til webinar med Lean Construction Norge. Mitt navn Roar Fosse. Jeg sitter i styret. Lean Construction Norge en bransjeforening for byggebransjen, en non-profit, som har bitte litt inntekter gjennom medlemsbedrifter. Vi har en rekke medlemsbedrifter fra både byggherrer, entreprenører, prosjekterende, konsulenter og så lignende, på en eller annen måte innenfor området Lean Construction. Og i disse dager så kan jo det bety utrolig mye. Og dette webinaret for kort til å forklare det fullstendig, men det jo et fagfelt som handler om godt samspill, finne god flyt i prosjekter, bruk av gode samhandlingsmetodikker, bruk av BIM, VDC, ICE, men man kan også snakke om kontrakter og samspill, og ja, dette en stor verden. Så i Lean Construction Norge så jo oppgaven til nettverket jo å dele kunnskap om alle disse her temaene, og sammen prøve å flytte bransjen et lite steg videre. Alle medlemsbedrifter i Lean Construction Norge så deltar alle ansatte gratis på alle arrangement. Og veldig mange av arrangementene våre gratis for hvem som helst i bransjen, men så det noen som krever medlemskap. Så alle her i dag selvfølgelig hjertelig velkommen her på webinar, og dette åpent for alle. Hvis man ønsker mer informasjon om Lean Construction Norge, bransjeforeningen, eller om kommende arrangementer, så hjemmesiden leanconstruction.one et godt sted å finne informasjon. Der finner man også informasjon om tidligere arrangementer. Da finnes også en YouTube-kanal, hvor man legger ut opptak av tidligere arrangementer. Ikke av alle, men av noen utvalgte. Så for eksempel dette webinaret tar vi opp, og dersom det blir OK, og foredragsholderne fornøyd, og alt greit, så kommer nok det også på opptak. Så det 2 ressurser man kan besøke på nett, for å holde seg orientert. Utenom det så det jo å snakke med sin representant i styret eller i nettverket. Dette finner dere også informasjon om hvis dere går på nettsiden. Bare til neste arrangement, før vi gyver løs på dagens webinar, og jeg skal minne om dette i slutten av dagen i dag, men neste gang vi møtes i Lean Construction Norge, så faktisk det store flaggskip-arrangementet vårt. Det største arrangementet vi har, det en heldagssamling. I år blir det kjempebra, den 23. april. Det skal være en torsdag, tror jeg. Og det kommer til å være på Construction City. Ja, med stort konferanserom, plass til veldig mange deltakere. Vi har fått noen kjempegode foredragsholdere til et flott program, og vi har også 2 internasjonalt kjente og superstjerner til å snakke om Lean og Lean Construction. Glenn Ballard og Niklas Modig. Og også noen Lean-software, både fra innland og utland, på utstillingsstands, og det blir en hyggelig middag på kvelden, og vi har prøvd å holde billettpriser og sånn litt lavt, og gjøre det lett tilgjengelig, og at her det bare å melde seg på og bli med. Så vi håper å se så mange som mulig, og det var i hvert fall veldig, veldig hyggelig i fjor. Så det ser vi frem til. Ok, til dagens arrangement. Og nå gjør vi en liten switch til engelsk. So, we'll switch to English now, and welcome Severi and Teemu from Finland, who are today's presenters. And my introduction will be a few minutes more, but in a few minutes they will present today's webinar, where they have done VDC in a giant project in Finland. So that is today's webinar. Just to give people a short introduction to those of you who know VDC or might not know VDC from Norway or the Nordics or abroad, just a quick introduction before we let Severi and Teemu explain how they do it in their project. So this is where we are in the agenda. I am still on the welcome part, and we will get to the Akseli project in a little bit. Then we will do a break, approximately around 1. That is a little bit dependent on where we are in the presentation. And then the Akseli project presentation will last into hour 2. And then we will wrap up with questions and summary and some plus deltas at the end of the webinar. If you have any questions during the presentation, then please just write them in the chat or raise a hand. And we're not that many people in the meeting, and we can probably see if we can answer them as we go. Just to go a little bit into today's topic before the Akseli project. So VDC, that is something that is known to a lot of people, especially in Norway, especially the last 10 years. And to me personally as well, I learned about VDC around 2016. And I see in this webinar a lot of familiar names that also got into VDC around that point. And one thing to bear in mind, and also I think the Finnish people who present today will say that in a way there wasn't anything new here. Like there was a lot of stuff in VDC that people said we were already doing this, but it was a way of better understanding and better putting together some really good practices in construction projects. So we already did BIM, we all did some sort of planning, we already collaborated by co-locating, but the VDC framework and some of the deeper explanations how to connect these practices in a good way was what, at least to me, made VDC special. And VDC in its simplest way can be explained just by 4 things. You have 4 boxes that you need to do in a certain way in projects. You have a box on the top that has to do with I'm sorry, this is in Norwegian, but it has to do with objectives, client objectives and project objectives. What is the construction project supposed to achieve, and how do we measure it, and how do we know if we are successful or not? And then you have 3 methodology boxes, and they have different names throughout the years and different names in different companies. But a very normal way to explain it, the way I learned it back in the day, was that PPM is the box for planning and process management. ICE is the box for how to put people physically together, and these days digitally together, to create good collaboration when we are in the same room. And then BIM is about the digital twin and the information flow and the data of actually building the building in a virtual way. And what I saw when I started with VDC was that suddenly in our projects, we were able in a much better way to combine these practices. We had a language about it. We had methodology, we had a framework, we had a way to implement these things in a connected and much better way. So either if we're talking about design meetings with design teams and doing lean-based planning, or out on the production site, if it's lean-based planning, traditional planning, digital, physical. If we're talking about the meetings we do, like pictured in the middle on the bottom there, like stand-up ICE work sessions and getting people involved in a good way, or if it's about the BIM model and metrics and measurement, like all of these things suddenly became like a package. They became connected, and we were able to talk about them and explain them in a much better way with VDC. What also happened was that we, at least in Norway in 2016, 17, 18, we became much better at sharing as well. A lot of companies went to school and got their VDC certificate through Stanford University, and after a while through NTNU in Norway, and Stanford and a local university would hold these certificate classes. The first ones were 25 people, 50 people, then they became 300 people, 200 people. And in Norway these days, this is now a yearly thing where there are VDC certificate programs. And I think we have just, or I know that we have actually just passed the milestone of 1,000 VDC certified Norwegian industry people, which is just tremendous. A little bit simultaneously, what happened also, I noticed that a lot of companies became way better at just connecting and sharing VDC knowledge directly with each other. And so for today's example, that somebody from Finland, Skanska Finland, comes and present is wonderful to me as a Skanska employee, because I think it's a good story of how we can share between our countries as well. Our Finnish colleagues came to Norway to learn VDC at the NTNU certificate course, but also to learn directly from the Norwegian VDC department. And also some of our VDC people travel to Finland and help them start with VDC. And correct me if I'm wrong here later, Marius or the Finnish people, but I think they have learned from us, but they have really run away with it and gone so far with VDC that we are the ones who now need to catch up with our Finnish colleagues. So just sharing knowledge. Go ahead, Marius.
I agree. They've taken it to the next level.
Absolutely. So this was just to get you guys a little bit of an introduction about VDC in general, what it's been, at least in Norway, and to our Finnish colleagues, how we usually talk about this in LCNO. And by that, I will not talk very much more. I think we can start the actual presentation from today's guests and stars from the Koskela project. So I don't know, Severi, if you can share screen and camera and sound, and you can take over from here.
Yes, we'll try.
We're 5 minutes ahead of schedule, so we have 5 minutes for technical issues.
Yeah, we definitely need that.
And I'll pay attention in the chat if there's anything, and we'll make this work together.
Do you see the presentation or the screen?
Looks perfect.
Wait a minute, just one moment. You still see the presentation? Yeah.
Yes.
And you can hear us fine.
We can hear you, and I try to highlight you so everyone have you on the big screen.
Yeah. You can see us as well. Yeah. First of all, thanks for having us to present our project. It's a privilege for us. We will try to recap some stuff we have learned from you and try to teach it onwards. So let's see how it goes.
And it's really nice to see some familiar faces and names on the screen, and even our VDC mentor from the course seems to be here.
Yeah. So first about us, who are we? My name is Severi Särkilahti, and in this actually Tram Depot project, I work as a development manager in charge of trying to figure out what we can do better, implement new technologies, AI, digital systems. And
my name is Teemu Saarinen, and I work on the project as a design manager. And my career at Skanska has been about 2 decades. And last 10 years, I have been working with the design management, and this is the second Tram Depot for me. So it's nice to be working with this.
Yeah, for me it's the first project, but it's happy to learn from the seniors. Today, as an agenda, you can start.
Yeah, as it was briefly mentioned about our agenda. So we start with a short project overview, so you have a good understanding that what kind of project we are talking about. And then we are going further to the VDC and tell a bit our trip, that how did we actually heard about the VDC at the first place, and what kind of help we got from our Norwegian colleagues. And then we are going to continue with the ICE topic, because this is something how we started our VDC journey. So the ICE was the first thing that we learned about the VDC. And then, as mentioned, I think we are going to have about 10 minutes break. So you can all grab a cup of coffee or a short break.
And after the break, we're gonna go more in depth to the VDC course, what we learned there, how it emphasized our learning, and then talk about how we went beyond the objectives and metrics, how we connected our digital systems to the client objectives, what we do there, and then in the end, how it's going right now, how we are scaling VDC inside Skanska and also in the Finnish lean community. So that's going to be today's agenda. You see during the presentation this kind of bar on the right, so you know where we are going. But without further ado, we're going to start with the project overview. It's going to be the first topic. And Teemu will start with the Alliance presentation.
Yeah, so on the screen you can see some numbers and some key information about our project. So our client is Metropolitan Area Transport, which is company owned by City of Helsinki. And after the completion, this depot will be the second main depot for Helsinki. And right now, Helsinki light rail network is approximately 100 kilometers rails. I think there is about 150 trams in Helsinki, but the rail network is growing fast, and there is growing demand for depots and facilities to maintain the equipment. And there you can see our design team, and the contract model is alliance. So basically all of us, Skanska and the designers and the client, we have a alliance contract, which means that we are sharing together the risks and the profits from the project. And the depot itself, it's about 40,000 square meters, over 5 kilometers track on the depot. And target cost is a bit under 300 million euros. There you can see the timeline of the project. So right now we are somewhere in the middle of the screen on the construction phase. And so the project has started already on late 2022. And then there was a first project tendering phase. The tendering phase was pretty heavy. So for this type of alliance, our client, well, it wasn't a price competition. It's the client wanted to have a best possible team to perform this building and this project. And during the tender phase, there was several workshops, and we already created our alliance team. We hired the designers, and already at that stage we did some early designs. And the contract model is two-phased. So first we have the contract for the development phase, and now we have a contract phase contract. And the thing what we had to do on the development phase was to get the designs to the level that we get the building permit, and the designs needed to get into the level that we can fix the target cost for the construction phase. And also one part of this tendering phase was that we were forming the construction phase contract. And then the implementation phase started with the demolition works, and Severi can tell a bit more about that.
Yeah. On the screen right now, you see the old depot. So this is how we got the site. The buildings A, B, K, and N were all demolished, and all of the old track was removed from the site, and only the D building and the C building, D building being the old residential building for the employees, and C being an old bus depot remained. So that is how we got the site, and the demolition works lasted about half a year. And the construction phase started early 25.
Yeah. The old depot was from the 50s and it was in a really poor condition. So there is nothing saved from the old building.
Yeah. Here you can see some pictures where we are right now. You see that our frame is progressing quite nicely. We are doing slab concrete works. Everything is running smoothly. I really like this phase because it's quite satisfying to see how fast and visual it is to see the progress that we are making. It's quite a nice phase to be in. And this is how the finished depot will look like. In my mind, for an industrial facility, it looks quite grand with lots of like glass elements. You see on the top, on the roof, you see some solar panels. We have a lot of green roof. You see some of these garden elements. So the environmental values that our client has is quite visible in this final product.
Yeah, the city saw this place that it's like a sort of a gateway to Helsinki. So there's a big road right next to the depot, and they wanted it should look like a bit more nice than just a factory facility.
Yeah, it looks a bit nicer than the last depot we made. That's for sure.
Then one picture about the functions, so you understand a bit what's happening in the tram depot. So here is a section from the BIM model where the roof has been taken off. So where you can see the letter A, so there is roughly 13 daily maintenance stations, so place where when the trams come from the city, they are washed and cleaned from the outside and inside. Then where is the letter B, there is storage space for the trams. There's space roughly to 50 trams. And actually the depot is designed in a way that at some point, the part where you can see letter E, that can be also converted to tram storage space. On the letter C, there is a light repair area. So there is 13 maintenance stations in 3 levels for the trams. And letter D is the place where some heavier repairs. So example, if the trams have been in accident and the body needs to be repaired, that can be done on this area. Then this letter E, that's an area where is mainly track maintenance equipment. So just normal excavators and trucks and other equipment that don't need rails. And letter F, there is some offices, technical facilities, example, a place where the new tram drivers will be educated. And about the depot, it's functioning almost 24/7. So basically, there's action happening all the time, and of course, this is a critical place for Helsinki public transportation. So there's some quality aspects that needs to be really taken care of, that the public transportation works.
That was it for the project presentation. Now we are moving to the deep end, to the learnings from VDC and starting how we got into the VDC from you Norwegians. We actually had this. We were running the project quite efficiently, but there were some things that were not running as smoothly as could be. And it's really visible in this weekly rhythm, which is our old weekly rhythm. The biggest challenge that we had is that project people were working in their own silos. We didn't have this collaborative workshopping time, as you can see. So we constantly had the issue of we didn't have the right people in the right meetings. We were having simultaneous meetings that the people should be in the other one. And there wasn't really that much communication happening within the project. And also regarding the digital systems, we were repeating the topics from meeting to meetings, and the issues weren't solved. So that was the state we were at after roughly 4 months into the development phase.
And we had done quite a lot of reflection, so we knew that what are our problems, but we didn't really have a solution how to fix things.
And what we did was that we flew in Norwegian to help.
Yes, and that's a nice story. That there was, I think it was in October 2023. So there was from Koskela, Norway, the BIM team was visiting Finland, and from our project, Severi and a few other guys, you were presenting our project for Koskela, Norway team, and on that at the meeting, the VDC was mentioned to us, I think, about the first time, and we got really excited about that when we heard, and we got some sort of understanding that what the VDC would be or could be, and we got really excited about that. And we felt that we should really understand it better, get some more information about this, and we got so excited about that, and we managed to convince our alliance team and our managers that hey, the Norwegians, they know how to run these things. That we should flew in one guy to tell us more about the VDC and to get us deeper understanding that what it really means. So that's the story how Marius came to Finland. It was December 2024, and so he's the man you can blame that we are here.
So everything we tell about, it's Marius to blame if it's wrong. No. What we did was we had a 2-day workshop. It started in a way that the first day we went through how we run things, what are our processes, and Marius told how it works in some of the VDC projects that he is facilitating. And we got a lot of ideas, and we challenged each other quite a bit so that we were on the same page. And on the second day, we really went down and tried to figure out how can we fix these issues we have? How could the new weekly rhythm work? What are the processes? What are the tools that we have that we could use to run the project better? And the second day was at the headquarters. We drew a lot of processes to the wall and really pondered deeply how we could run things.
So after the workshop, after these 2 intensive days with Marius, we had created a new model for our weekly routines. And about these new weekly routines, there was really a lot of focus on Tuesday, where we had planned to have 4 separate time slots for ICE sessions and to solve our problems. And well, actually, Severi, you can tell on the next slide a bit more.
I think it's most visible when you compare the old weekly rhythm to the new one. So you see the yellow or greenish workshop color we have a lot more time for that. It's all also condensed to the same day, so everything is in the Tuesday, and we will tell more on that. Then you can see that we have more communication inside the project. So this bluish colors represent this project status and design, scheduling, and coordination time. So that is all happening in the same day. So we at least have one day that we have focused time to problem solving and communicating issues and stuff inside the project. We also have, if you compare the old and the new one, a lot more time to do our own work. Time that we don't have any meetings. The designers have more time to do work in other projects as well. So now we got the time to actually fix these problems and create new solutions. So we reduce the amount of meetings as well. And we really feel that this was the most impactful change we had when we flew in Marius. Then, going more in depth to the ICE day, to the Tuesday you had. So what is an ICE session for those who don't know? Maybe Tim could explain that first.
Yeah, well, first of all, ICE session, it is a meeting, but usually it's called session because we want to highlight that it's active working, and that's one of the reasons why it's called sessions and not meetings. But what is it really is that there's one sentence here that it's a compact, well prepared, goal-oriented and structured event to solve a multidisciplinary problem. So I think all the meetings should be well prepared and goal-oriented, but that's not what always happens. But this is something where ICE sessions we are really concentrating. And good topics for ICE sessions are usually some challenging issues that require several different parties, and especially that kind of problems or issues that you don't normally have, like weekly meetings or meetings where the people who you need to solve it are present. So this is the place where ICE session is good. And one thing in ICE sessions is that there should be only people who are necessary. So that's one thing, that how we keep the sessions active, that you don't invite people who are there just listening or are not really needed. So only people who really need to solve the problems. And one important thing is also that the sessions, like also on our project, that all our sessions, they follow the same format and schedule. All the memos are prepared in the same place, in the same structure. So it's easy to everybody find the information and understand it because everything is done in the same structure. And because everybody is not invited to the session itself, we have a summary for everybody at the end of the ICE day.
And what is an ICE day? And I would say this is really the key for us, at least, that we have structured or made this compact day where all of the sessions happen at the same time in the same day. And you could split this into 4 different elements. So we start the day with this weekly opening where we go standard stuff happening at the project. And we also introduce all of the ICE topics that we have for the current day. We make sure that the session leaders still feel that it's viable to have the ICE session, and we know that we have the right participants to solve the actual issue. Then we have the first ICE slots starting at 10, Every ice session lasts 50 minutes, so you have a 10-minute break between the sessions. We have lunch between 11 and 12. And with this structuring, we actually used to have only 3 slots for the ice sessions, and our record was 16 topics in one day. So it means over 5 topics simultaneously. But you need to remember that we are quite a big project. We have over 300 people doing work once a day to the project, and in these ice days we usually have between 50 to 70 people participating to the weekly opening, and maybe 40 people participating in the ice sessions and design scheduling. About design scheduling, it's a slot where we go through our last week's topics. We use last planner system methodologies to facilitating the meeting. We also plan the next 3 weeks upcoming, so we know what's going on, and we use Hoilu for a tool for that. It's a collaborative session as well, so we try to bring out issues from the designers, and we really try to have the conversation. Are we on the right track, and are we having the right topics on the right times? But then we have the actual ice sessions. Then we explained what an ice session is, and I said that we can have up to 6 sessions at once. We usually have between 3 to 5 sessions. And then I would say the cherry on the cake is the ice reflection, where we sum up the whole day. So in the reflection, the session leaders tell shortly in 1 to 2 minute time spans what they went through, what was the key issue they were trying to solve, how they solved it, and if there is anything people should know. And then we go through the follow-up tasks between everyone. And it's a place where people maybe on the outer circle of the project also join in, because they get a good overall picture on where the project is going on. And it's also a place where people can reflect things together and ask questions on if they solve this and that and how it affects my work. So it's a great place to share information. So at least one day a week, we are all on the same page what we are doing.
And we are very goal oriented. So on the ice reflection, we always check that did you achieve the targets that you had for the sessions. So that's one part of the reflection.
And how it looks, we use this software called Monday.com for facilitating and orchestrating everything. In this picture, you see a snapshot from our ice agenda. You see the four slots that we have on Tuesday and the 5th slot that is on Thursday. You see on the first left column, there is always the ice topic's name shortly. Then there is the date that the ice is going to be held, because in the board there are multiple ice topics, also the past and the future ones. You see on the first column who is going to be the session leader, so who's to blame if we don't meet the target. Then you see the most critical one, you see the session's goal. So what is the thing we are trying to solve within the 50 minutes that we have? And then you see all of the participants to the meeting. We try to keep the meeting participants pool quite small, so we feel that like 4 to 6 people is the optimal amount, but sometimes we need to invite more people as well if it's something that we need more information from different disciplines. And then on the far right, you see these 2 status columns. The first one being we always select did we achieve the agenda or not. So we have these 3 options, like we fully achieved it, we partly achieved it, and we didn't achieve it at all. And then on the right, you see that do we need a follow-up ICE on the topic? So sometimes there might be a problem that we can solve, but during the ICE session, we feel that there is still more to solve collaboratively. So then we would select that we need a follow-up task. So it would automatically, like the Monday system would automatically copy the topic to the ICE planning. So we know that we need to reschedule a slot for this.
And when we heard about the ICE sessions in the first place, the examples that we saw, they were always done with an Excel. And at the first place, we thought that, hey, we think that we have a better tool than Excel for this. So we have been running these ICE sessions on our project always with this Monday.
Yeah. If you look at our Monday board, I think currently in these 2 years that we have been running these ICE days, we have solved 1,000 topics. I think we are right at that point now. But maybe Teemu could quickly tell how else we use Monday, what Monday actually is, and there is still we go to the more in depth how we run the planning and having the new ICE topics in Monday. But Teemu could tell in short what Monday is.
Yeah. So what is Monday.com and why we use it? So basically, this Monday.com, it's a cloud-based project management platform or task management platform, and the functions on Monday, they are very similar to Excel, but they are more visual, and there's several different views how you can handle the information. And like in Excel, the items on Monday, they are handled on boards, which you could think like separate sheets on Excel. And in our project, in addition to this task management, ICE functions, we are using this Monday.com for risk management and decision-making log and change management. We even do design, procurement, and production schedule coordination with the Monday. And basically anything you would normally do on a project with an Excel, we are doing it with the Monday. So it's very, well, we are using it a lot in everything what we do related to the project management. So in that sense, it was understandable and easy to understand that why we wanted to start running also the ICE sessions with the Monday.
Yeah, Monday is also quite flexible, so you can do a lot of things with that maybe it wasn't in the first place designed for, but it is quite, you can be quite creative in how you form different boards, and there's a lot of tools for automation and information flow improvement between the boards. You can connect different boards and you can do time tracking so you can get metrics. So we felt that there were so many pros to use Monday also for ICE that we went with that.
And user interface is very friendly, so it's easy to new people start using it. And on our development phase, we used Monday also as our situational awareness system. So because you are able, from all the data that you have on Monday, it's easy to make tables and charts. So that was pretty good tool also on the development phase to understand like the project overall situation. And then a bit more about the Monday and how we are using it. Example with the designers. So we have different design teams that are meeting weekly. Example, architect and structural engineer, they have weekly meeting. Our MEP team has a weekly meeting, and the rail team has a weekly meeting. And none of those teams, when they are working, they don't make any separate memos of their meetings. They are only working with the Monday. So all the topics that our design teams are handling, everything is run on the Monday. And one benefit with that is that everyone is working with the same platform. And on the screen, you can see one on this table. On this table, you can see the right column. You can see that on some of the topics, there is only one label, and on some of the topics, there is several labels. The labels are the groups that are handling the items. So it's a very good thing that we don't have separate memos or separate tasks in the different teams, but everybody can work with the same topic. And that is very, very effective. And one really good and big thing is that we don't have any more emails about these topics. Everything happens Monday. So everything, the conversations, the pictures, as you see on the screen, all the information is in Monday. And we don't have any hassle that somebody remembers having an email a year ago about something, because you can really easily find information from Monday. And everybody has access here, and it's very easy to find information. And we have connected this task management system and how we are handling the design topics. We have connected it to ICE as well. So whenever we are handling these design topics and we find out that, hey, this is a topic which we can't find a solution on this meeting, or we need, example, a client or a border understanding and more people to this, we can just mark a task that we need ICE for this, and the system will make a copy of the task onto our ICE planning board.
We also have this other way to get new ICE topics, and this is by through these QR codes. So we have these notes around the site office. Everyone can scan the QR code and suggest new topics. And when you scan this QR code, the form on the right will open up. We ask different information about the topic so that we can plan the ICE days effectively. But the only three required information are that we need the topic name, we need what the actual problem or the goal for the session would be, and when do they need it. Is it something that they need in the next month or something that they need the next week? So everything else is not mandatory, but we also ask if we already know who the right session leader could be, who are the participants. But if someone doesn't know that information, the ICE planning team can or knows who needs to take a part to the session. And this is open for everyone. We feel that when people are able to participate in the planning and suggesting new topics, they also feel more empowered to join the system and be part of ICE. So we really like that. And when you scan these forms and fill out, the information goes automatically through this form to the ICE board that Teemu will tell more about. So we get the information through automation to these updates, and we get the topics pre-filled with the information from the form. So it's quite quick then as we get a new topic to plan the day, because we already have most of the information pre-filled. So it's just like a people Tetris, how we call it. And Teemu will tell more about that.
So how do we then continue with planning these ICE days? So as Severi mentioned, so there's the way to get these topics to this ICE planning board is through the QR code, or the way I talked about that from the task management system. And So we have every Wednesday afternoon, we have a meeting with, we have a small group of people planning the next Tuesday's ICE Day agenda. And we do it based on the suggested topics. So the view that we are working looks like you are seeing on the screen. So we can see that what are the suggested session topics and who has been suggested to participate and when it should be, when the ICE session should be. And to make the day very effective, we are of course prioritizing and filtering the items. So we are quite critical. So sometimes we can see that you don't need that many people to solve this problem, because it seems to be that quite often when people are suggesting some topic and they list people who they feel that they need to solve it, people tend to overestimate the amount of people who are needed, just in case. And sometimes we see that some topic has been asked to be like next week, but we can do some prioritizing depending on the project situation. But it is like making a puzzle, because we want to have as many ICE sessions as possible on the Tuesday. But of course, we don't have that many architects or electricians or whoever we at the moment need for those. So, but with this Monday, it's quite easy to make the puzzle, because you can see the faces of the persons who are needed. And after we have created the next Tuesday agenda, our ICE facilitator, he sends out the email invitations to the sessions. And it is then the session leaders responsible to organize, if possibly any preliminary preparation or work is needed before the meeting.
Yeah, if it wasn't clear, we have the sessions as hybrid sessions. So I would say that 90% of the people are always present at the site office, but there might be some days that some people are online. So we always have the option to join in through Teams. We feel that it works quite good, and in some cases we feel that it is even better, because, for example, the architect can show his or her model from the computer, so it's more effective to do it online. So it depends on the topic. I would say 90% is on site, but there are some ICE sessions that we have people joining in through Teams as well.
And our ICE sessions, they have evolved so that actually we started only with design items. So this is how we started. We had ICE sessions about design topics. Then quite soon our project management realized that, hey, that seems to work, and we started to get more and more like general project management topics. And now when we are on the construction phase, it seems that we start getting all the time more and more construction production related items.
Yeah.
But still, I would say that 50% right now are design and project management related, and the other half right now about production.
And our clients and end users might join into the ICE sessions as well. So we have all of the people from the Alliance joining in. Then when we are having these ICE sessions, we follow the same format as Teemu said. So we don't have additional memos. The conversation is happening inside Monday through these updates that you see on the top right of the screens. We always follow the same format. So we first have the people present in the meeting. Then we have the agenda we went through in the session. We have the topics we discussed. And then I would say the most critical stuff that we always write, what are the follow-up tasks from these ICE sessions? And those we then also copy from the update to the sub items to this board, and those go back to the task management system. So then I would say that ICE is just like a tool to split big problems into smaller ones, and this is how it goes. So then those go back to the task management board, and more on that later. But that is for the general topics or design topics. We use Hoilu for scheduling and managing tasks.
Yeah, about the Hoilu, so we do it so that all the design team tasks what are raised up on ICE sessions, we are moving them to Hoilu. We could leave them only to Monday, but I prefer to have them at Hoilu as well, because we are handling on Hoilu the other design tasks as well, so it's better to have them there. And Hoilu also as a tool, that was something that was introduced to us by Skanska Norway, so we hadn't been using it before that. And something about the Hoilu. So we use Hoilu for design task management, and to really have a deep dive how we do it. That I think that would need another webinar, but just the principles that how we are running it. So first of all our design deliverables, they are listed on Monday. So we use Monday for that. And based on our procurement and production schedule, we have created design packages for product procurement and production. And on Monday, we have linked all our design deliverables to these packages, and we have scheduled them on Monday. And these scheduled packages on Monday, they work as a milestones for us at Hoilu. And so at Hoilu, we schedule all the tasks that needs to be done in order to make these deliverables on time. So basically, in a nutshell, our design schedule management, that's a collaboration of using Monday and Hoilu. And as Severi mentioned about our weekly routines, we are having every Tuesday morning, we have a coordination meeting with the designers where we are checking the Hoilu and how the tasks are progressing. So we check always the previous week achievements, and not 3 weeks, 2 weeks ahead. And I feel that Hoilu has been a great tool, and especially with these good visual tools to really understand the big picture about the design situation. It's been good.
Yeah, we follow the PPC, for example, as a metric for design tasks. So I also feel that Hoilu is good for that you get the information and the metrics automatically. Maybe to sum up how we see problem solving in our site, I would say that it comes down to these 3 different levels. So I really like this picture because I feel that it summarizes it quite clearly, and it shows how we have arranged the different Monday boards to form a system together. So we feel that you see on the top left of the process graph, we get these new topics. They can be whatever. They can be bigger ones. They can go through the QR code, for example, straight to ICE. So we already know that it's a problem that needs a collaborative, multidisciplinary group to solve it. But we also have standard tasks, questions that Teemu could answer, maybe some issues that need only a small team to tackle those. And that's the red solving new issue box on the top of the picture. And of course, we need to make decisions in our project. We have decision levels. We have a decision-making process. So in some cases, we already know that if it's something that, for example, needs €1 million, we need to make a different type of certain type of decision for that. But I would emphasize on the loop that is between the task management and between ICE. So Teemu showed that we have the task management board and we tackle some issues there, but we have the option to bring it up as ICE. So then it goes straight to the ICE board. And then we have the sessions. I said that we do the follow-up tasks and those go back either to Hoilu or it goes back to the task management board. And we also have a connection if we solve some issue, but it needs more decision making, we can point that out and bring it to the decision making process that is also running in Monday. So everything, every different aspect, information flow is happening inside Monday. Everything is automatical. You just need to like say if it's done or not, then the like system brings the issue to the right place, and we have a process for running it in the board. But I think that's all for ICE. This is the break point for the webinar, so we are halfway. Are there any questions regarding the first section, what we discussed?
Or do we take the questions after the presentation? I think we are.
I was thinking that I think it makes sense. Like if there are any questions, we can spend a few minutes before we take a break, and then okay. If there's anything so far. So while people maybe raise their hand, I can add from my side. Like I probably have 100 things to say, but I at least wanted two quick points that you mentioned that I think is interesting. You said in the Monday.com system and also regarding these QR codes that anyone in the team can add a problem, add an issue, and tag it that this needs an ICE session to be solved. And you said that that's very good because it empowers people. I also think it makes your role as design managers much easier. And I know several people in this webinar who have struggled to, what should we discuss in ICE this meeting? And you as a design manager have to create that good agenda. But in good VDC projects, the agenda makes itself. The team suggests what we should solve, right? And that it's pull from the team. So that's good. So I definitely support that as a good VDC practice. I also think it was interesting you mentioned that now that we're getting to the construction, closer to construction, more and more of the things discussed in ICE sessions are construction phase things and not design phase things.
Yeah.
And that's also wonderful because nobody has ever said that ICE is only for design, right? One of the biggest potentials in this method is to put designers and builders together. It's just a good way of solving problems, right? So it wasn't necessarily a question, but just comments from me that those were two very, very good points.
The items related to construction phase, they are more related usually to pre-planning, because if something goes wrong or something on site, that usually needs to be solved immediately. But we have a lot of ICE sessions related to construction when they are doing some sort of pre-planning.
And that is really important because then you can tackle those in advance and you can have the production start as smooth as possible.
Yeah, I see Kathleen has her hand raised for a question.
Yes, I really like the presentation. Congratulations with this. You've done it. You're taking it really far.
We had
I have one question on because you are using Monday during the ICE sessions where you have the tasks there as well. And then, if I understood correctly, you use Hoilu with tasks for the planning. Are the same tasks, am I understanding this correctly? And if so, are the same tasks, do you have integration between those two, or can you link those tasks from the planning into the ICE, or?
Yeah, we don't have really integration, and it is the case that we have the same tasks on Hoilu and Monday as well.
And
Yeah,
you
that is-
manually write them on both places, and then you have to check them out on both places, or?
No, we just check those in Monday that they are followed up in Hoilu, and there's like a almost automation because you can bring like CSV and Excel information from systems between. So we just take all of the issues design related, and we can like bulk import those to Hoilu. So it's not that big of an issue, but it would be nice if those would be fully integrated together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is some
Sounds like a future webinar, maybe. Yeah.
No, but it's a really cool process that you created there.
Yeah.
And then Shell, and then I think we need to take a break quickly so you also get enough time for part 2. Yeah. Sheliani, you don't have sound.
Okay, I just didn't recognize my surname. Sorry. Really nice presentation. Thank you. And it's kind of evident that this whole new working enforce a new, newer way of thinking also. You were saying this with auto-generating meetings that takes off the responsibility, maybe just a little bit from the design managers, but all this enforces that people need to think in a new way. It's not, I mean, yes, you have the Monday software that can help and support you, but taking people from maybe being a more reactive setting in their mind, what was the case before we started introducing all these work methods, going into a more proactive mindset. I mean, there's also a change there where the software does what it does, but how have you worked with the people, the mindset, the change of the mindset of the people in your projects?
Well, I think that it was surprisingly easy. So when we started to implement the ICE method, and well, I think part of the thing that why it was so easy that after we had been running a few weeks the ICE sessions, people really on our project, they realized that, hey, this is very effective way of working, and they got a bit of interested and excited about this.
Yeah.
So we didn't really have resistance from the project team that when we were bringing these new work methods.
Yeah, but we also did a lot of work for preparing this like new methodology, because if you would bring it halfway and just like introduce it and not have planned all of the options, all of the tools, make it as easy as possible, I would feel that it wouldn't have been so easy. But because we had prepared it so thoroughly, it was quite easy to people join in, and it was exactly what you said, that now we are almost thinking on, if we have extra time, what could be the problems to tackle, what are the risks that we could solve today, because we have these 2 slots available for these people. So it's a completely different mindset of actually trying to find risks and problems to solve on if we have the time.
If you would have the knowledge that you have today, would you start introducing the software believing that that would pass the way for people to get the necessary understanding of starting to think and work differently? Or would you start with working with the know-how development in people, like working with the change of mindset in the people? Which way would you go around?
Well, of course you need both, but I think as Finns are quite software orientated, so introducing this system to new project, it's easier if they already use this like system or software. We just say that you do this and that, and they like already get the process without thinking too much. They just copy the boards and do stuff in a way that like needs to be that you need people's involvement and rethinking stuff, but it comes like almost automatically. So of course you need the people, and you could run it without Monday or with Excel, but yeah, it's a lot easier to do it with our system, I feel like. It passed, so we can get to the second section in time. So we start start the second section by discussing about the NTNU VDC course, and Teemu could start.
Yeah, so here you can see some pictures from our course trip to Oslo, and how we end up there is that so when we had started on our project with the ice working, and it was running very smoothly, and our client, our alliance partners, they were pretty convinced that, hey, this seems to be really good working method. There was also raised a question that, hey, that this is only a part of the VDC, that what else is the VDC than only this ice? And so then we heard about the NTNU course, and we managed to get us into the course. And well, the course is in Norwegian, but lucky for us, there was we had some other English-speaking people on the course among us, and so we had there one English-speaking international team, and so we were able to participate there fully. And I feel that it was a really good course, especially in a way of that there was a lot of networking, really good conversations, and for us it was really good that there was me and Severi and two of our colleagues from our course on the course. So it was really inspiring, and I think that we had a lot of conversations even after the course days, that we were excited that how we could implement what we have been learning to our project.
Yeah.
And also about the networking, there was on our international team, there was guys from the Skanska Sweden, so it was great to be sharing the knowledge also with them.
Yeah, about those who don't know about the VDC course, so it lasts for 9 months, so it started in August 24 and ended on 25, and we had 3 people working together as one from our project, but we have had 3 different works we did during the course. We still sparred between each other and went through what we have learned, so deepened the learning together. And like our 3 things we focused on during the course was working on the change management process. That was Teemu's assignment, and then I focused on decision making. How can we improve the visibility of decisions? How can we decrease the lead time? And then we had another third guy from our project doing stuff related to the situational awareness systems that we are going to go more in depth further, but I would say that all connected to the situational awareness system, so that we have a common picture inside the project how things are moving onward, and there created the initial spark for this kind of system created. I feel that because we were 3 people from the same project, it was easier to create the spark to VDC among the other people inside the project as well. So the motivation that we had as 3 individuals spread out quicker throughout the project than if, for example, I or Teemu would have been alone in the project. And also during these exercises, we developed controllable factors, production metrics related to these, and that was maybe what we deepened our learning inside the course, and maybe Teemu could add on that.
Yeah, so what did we really learn on the course? I think that the course confirmed us that our current practices, they were already pretty well aligned with the VDC principles. As I mentioned, the networking that's really valuable, and we had really good conversations at the course. And definitely I would say we were really excited after the first week that we spent on the course, that we felt that there's so many things that we need to implement on our project. And about the VDC, I think that before we went to the course, we really didn't understand too much about the PPM and metrics and the VDC language. And that part was really strengthening a lot on the course. And on the course, it also cleared us the view how the client and project objectives, how they are linked to the other VDC elements. So overall, I think that we got a better overall picture of what this VDC really is.
Yeah. And to sum up how we see it in the traditional way of showing VDC. So we focused on the production, on the client objectives and project objectives. We wanted to make those clear, and we go further on how we are managing those. On the PPM side, we use Hoilu, we map processes, we try to find these inefficiencies that we have, and we see it as a combination of tools and processes and how those interlink. That is PPM for us, and trying to make processes run more smoothly. How we see ICE is that we collaborate more, we share information, we use systems like Monday where everyone has the access to the information. We have a process that we explain how we get these new topics and how we tackle those. So we have a system for that, and we empower the people to join in and work together to the common goal. And then sometimes this last box is shown as BIM. We see it as VIA and BIM, and we show maybe today more on the VIA side about our dashboards, about our metrics, how we lead with the information, and how we make the objectives visible to everyone and know where we are going. But of course, the BIM side is also there. We try to use models. You see on the bottom right some VR stuff that we are working on, so that the model goes to the real world and you can see quite clearly how things should go. So that is the third part. But maybe next we are focusing more on the client and project objectives and how those link to the different elements, mainly to the VIA side. So beyond objectives and metrics, what we did first when we went back from the course, then we could tell on that work with this slide.
Yeah, the poster that you are seeing on the screen, that's something which those posters are everywhere on our project office walls. So our project is very goal oriented, and we have this poster which it's showing our client objectives, it's showing the project objectives, and as well on the lower part of the image there is the values that we have on the project. So our project is clearly managed based on these objectives. And on the top line, you can see the client objectives. You could argue that on VDC method, the client objectives should be something that you can measure like later after the handover, like when the facility is been running. Like we have there that staying on a budget and schedule, which in a VDC method should be a project objective. but the client objectives, they were given us before we even heard about the VDC, so we haven't been modifying those. But we have really been concentrating that how from these client objectives, how we make good project objectives and how we can be measuring them and how the project should be running, that we really achieve these project objectives.
And one way to do that is actually for each project objective, we have a group to manage that. So you see these 8 topics. We have 8 multidisciplinary groups that try to make sure that we are on track and we are doing the right steps. And what the groups do as well is that they split each project goal into a yearly goal first, and then they set up these controllable factors throughout the year that we are measuring and we are tracking that we do. And here you see two of our goals shown as a roadmap. I feel that this kind of roadmap is a good tool to visualize what we do. So you see these quarters and you see stuff that we do along the way. And this is also done in a way that we have formed a financial benefit model for everyone related or around these topics. So our companies, Skanska, Sweco, our designers, client, they get rewarded as companies, but we also get rewarded as individuals. So everyone has their financial benefits tied to these controllable factors that we do each year. So we are really enforced to do work that brings our project further, not just constructing the building on site, staying on schedule, but also trying to enforce the other project objective as well. Try to improve safety, what we do there, try to bring new innovations to the project, and also have good collaboration with the end users. So we are steering the project towards the goals and focusing maybe on a broader scale to objectives rather than just building the tram depot.
And as mentioned, each of our project objective, they have a multidisciplinary team who is making sure that we will achieve the goals. And once a month, instead of having a normal weekly startup meeting, once a month we have this monthly info meeting where all of our project objective team leaders, they present how each individual project objective is progressing. So we have a short presentation from every objective, that what has been successful, what are the challenges right now to achieve it, and what are the actions that we are going to do in next 3 months. So that way, everybody working on our project, they should have a pretty good overall understanding that where are we right now and what are the things that should be improved.
Yeah, and on the left side you see a snapshot on our situational awareness system that I'm going to go more in depth, but the snapshot on how we manage these controllable factors in our project objectives and this financial benefit model. So you see that this year we have these 6 topics or 6 goals that we really focus on, and you would see the progress that we are making along the way with these GAUG charts. Let's go a bit backwards, or maybe to how we manage and interlink the project objectives and the client objectives. we see it, or we built this system that is a Power BI based report that pulls data from different sources in a way that we wanted to make sure that the client objectives are what matters the most. And then the layer and the metrics from the strategy side, we wanted to create those as project objectives. And this is how our front page of the report looks like. And below each project objectives, there are multiple different production metrics that show the more active way of managing the objective, and the project objective metrics are what I would describe as a more passive view on are we on the right trends or not. So for like operational management to the project, we use mainly these production metrics because they show quicker if we are losing our way with these objectives. And to make it really clear, this is how it in action looks, the front page of our situational awareness system, our Power BI report. So you see these 8 different metrics. The financial metric is not shown here, but we have 8 different metrics. You see on the starting from the top left, we track how fast we are tackling quality issues. On the bottom left, you see the feedback that we are getting from the end users. Are they satisfied with our work? We have these questionnaires, and this is to sum up those results. Then on the second row, we have being the pioneer in environmental friendliness. We have 2 metrics for that. We are tracking how much we have reduced the carbon footprint during the implementation phase. And we are also achieving a BREEAM Outstanding certificate. So you see the points there. And here you can see quite clearly that it already shows that we have achieved it, because it shows the points that we had for the design phase certificate that we already achieved. So now we are trying to get the production phase certificate, and this is also something that needs to be said out loud, that we can change these metrics if we feel that it doesn't track the project objective in the best way, or it's not like ambitious enough. We might change it. Also with the carbon, actually the first target was to achieve 4,000 tons of carbon savings, but we actually already met that, so we increased the amount to 6,000. And actually this is an old picture because we already went past that metric as well. So now we need to find a more ambitious goal, and I feel that you would need to, or you need to improve the goals as well and make those more ambitious, because without that you are not improving. Then you have on the third row below the cost savings, you have the production efficiency, shows how well we are on schedule with those tasks. We had a project goal of saving 6 months from the lead time, so it shows how well we are on that. And actually that is another example. You see 120%, we are already on going past the 6-month schedule. So the new goal for our project is actually minus 13 months, so over a year of lead time saved during the project implementation phase. And on the far right, you see safety observations, how quick we are tackling those. And on the bottom right, you see the innovation work, which is for this year. So there is not much done yet, but I'm sure that we are meeting that. If we take an example how these project objectives are then split to the production metrics, we can take as an example this carbon saving, reducing carbon footprint. If we try to split it. So first, like the end goal for the project is to reduce carbon emissions during the implementation now by 6 months, 6,000 tons. We needed to think what are the actual things that we need to track, that we know that we can meet it, that we are going to the right direction. And we felt that these 4 things are that. So we need to know how the carbon footprint forecast trend is going on. Are we on the right track or not? We of course need to know how the carbon footprint is spread between the different building elements. So where would the best potential for carbon savings be? And then we need to monitor different emission sources for the critical stuff like concrete. Are we on right track with that? And how we are emitting emissions from the construction site from our equipment. So here is the graphs that would be visible below the project goal. So you see the same 4 stuff. The first one showing how the carbon footprint has gone drastically down along the way. Then on the second picture, you see how the carbon is spread between the different elements. You see that in HVAC there is some stuff to be saved, and you see between the red and the green lines, or the blue and the green, how much we have actually saved compared to what we calculated at the end of the development phase. The third one is an example of the carbon emission from the cast concrete. So we see on real time how much percentage we have saved carbon. So we use low carbon concretes. We know what the emissions are compared to the traditional concrete, and we can say what the percentage of savings regarding emissions are. And this information, for example, comes automatically to us through these like digital notes that we get from the subcontractor. So we don't need to do anything. People send those digital notes to us, and the system calculates and visualizes everything. And all of this information inside this Power BI report is, I would say, almost fully automatical. So information comes from sources like Monday, from these digital systems, and the data updates daily to the report. So no one has to write in manually any information. The fourth one is just to show the emissions on the construction site, and it uses the same system as the third one. Then we are right at the end of the webinar, the last topic being how we have started scaling in VDC and how we see that the VDC is trending in Finland as well. And we have a couple of examples of that.
Yeah, first of all, how we have continued sharing the knowledge between the business units. So, well, as you can see that we have continued the active collaboration with the Skanska Norway, and also been in contact with the Skanska Sweden quite a lot. And one example of our collaboration is that like last week from our project, we had our BIM specialist and the structural engineering visiting Oslo at the Skoyen project to find out all the best practices that you are doing there, because I feel that Finland used to be a BIM #1 country maybe at some point, but it seems that you Norwegians, you have went further definitely with that. So we are sharing the knowledge. And about the VDC and our projects, Skanska UK has been very interested about the VDC and how we are implementing it. We have had several meetings and visits with them. And outside the Skanska, well, there's really interest is growing. Our project is running well, so it's people are getting excited. And there's example, our client has another project where they have taken same working methods, same tools, and our way of working is spreading. And also our management has realized that this seems to be a very effective way of working, and there's been quite active promotion to our external clients also, and there's been very many visitors from different clients on our project.
And we have gotten great feedback from other clients as well. And as Roar mentioned, that it's practical stuff that we do. It's nothing that special, maybe some parts, but not all. It's just how we combine everything and form the common framework. So they have really realized that the way of working, that if you do things this way, great things can happen. Maybe a great example of how VDC is spreading in Finland is we have Martin joining us to the LCI days we have in Finland this year. He's going to be a keynote speaker. We also have a couple of slots in the LCI days, so would be the same probably that Ruar mentioned about the LCNO days, the lean days. We also have me and the project manager of our project presenting VDC and how we manage these client objectives within the LCI days. And actually the organizer Vision has asked us to have a VDC workshop inside the LCI days. So it's really increasing popularity in Finland as well. People are interested on the way of working, and it's great to see. And also inside our company, and maybe also other companies that the client works with, there might be a possibility to establish a Finnish satellite VDC course together with the Norwegians, or some way that we could have more certified people in Finland as well, because currently it's only a handful. And of course, like this webinar is also something that we want to do, and it aligns with our goals as well. We want to spread knowledge so that the construction sector would start to catch the other sectors as well. And to end the stuff, Teemu has some wise words.
Yeah, that we have some wise words from some VDC material that we found, and point is that continuous improvements that they can have a great impact even in small doses. And I really hope that you guys online that you got some inspiration what we have been talking about, and some ideas from our presentation to bring to your own projects. So,
and feel free to contact us through LinkedIn or whatever. We are eager to answer questions and spar together how we can improve these like topics and practices. Thanks.
That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you. So I was thinking just briefly before we take a few minutes for questions and a few minutes to wrap up, I also had I asked Marius, who's part of the webinar, if he wanted to give a quick reflection. He's been mentioned several times. I don't know if your sound works,
Yeah.
Marius. Like, how do you see this? Like, you got invited to Finland to some people here who wanted to do this VDC stuff, and that was the start point. Like, how do you see it?
Well, I think for me personally, this project is maybe as a VDC advisor, I think it's my greatest accomplishment thus far. And that they're the ones who's taken it organization-wide in the project to lengths I haven't seen done before. When you involve the project management top level and the production, still continue doing the ICE things, the sessions, And also the focus on the metrics, really quality metrics and focus, and then even exceeding goals. That's just pretty amazing. I'm super proud of the guys. It's been fantastically fun working with them, and also met a lot of resistance in the beginning. They really sort of set me to the wall with every single thing I came with. And I had to think and reflect myself, why do I want to do this? Why should I do this way? So I think I became a better advisor as well working with them. And finally, I want to add that mid-April, you can integrate Monday and Hoilu. This is the last thing. It'll work then.
Yeah.
That's good.
Good to hear.
In a sense, this is a fun webinar because when these guys started with VDC, you were a VDC advisor, and now you work for Hoilu, which they use, and so you both the process and the tool and the people and the digital. You're all over the story.
It's been fun. It's been an incredible project to follow from start to where they are now. Really well done. I'm super proud of you guys.
Thanks.
And I think going back to the question that was before the break, like, is this about tools or people? I think getting someone like Marius in who has done this on several projects in Norway and actually coaching and training and learning the deep thoughts behind this, that is the clue, right? So, okay.
And we want to somewhat duplicate it. So now we are the Mariuses of our company. So people are talking with us, and we try to help those get along with VDC and ICE and so on.
Yeah, in the VDC community, there is this term like being a VDC mentor, right? And that could be like in the VDC course, but actually, like in reality, out in the organizations, in the projects, you need VDC mentors to teach people VDC and to implement it in a good way, right?
Yeah.
So very, very good. Okay, any other questions for a few short minutes before we wrap up?